equivalent voltage, generally it is called as Thevenin voltage, and this resistance, equivalent resistance, is called as Thevenin resistance for Thevenin's theorem. So here you are going to have the terminals A and B, and here you are going to connect the load. So once you find this circuit, final circuit, then you can just substitute the value of RL and you can find the current or voltage across that particular element. Okay, so this is actually an example of your home circuits. Okay, in a home you'll be having sockets, right? That can be actually represented like this. Okay, before that there is some resistance and you are having certain practical source. Then let's consider that you can consider this as your socket. In your socket you are going to take two terminals, right? You can consider like this. Okay, this is in socket, this is one hole and this is another hole, you can consider like this. Okay, so you can just put your uh, iron box or table fan or battery chargers or television across these 2 points. Okay, so this is like a Thevenin voltage source and this is a Thevenin equivalent resistance, and this is considered as a load that can be of anything whichever you are using in your home. Wherever whatever you are using in your home as a load, you can consider that as a load here. Okay, so you can understand that this is obviously can be solved by mesh analysis and nodal analysis, but the problem with mesh analysis and nodal analysis here is only this resistance is changing. If only this resistance is changing, then you have to solve the circuit completely. Even if you have only one resistor changing or two resistors changing, then you have to solve the circuit completely and you have to find the solution. Okay, so when this is a simple circuit, it is easy to find using mesh analysis and nodal analysis. But when you are going for a large amount, large size of circuits, I mean, large number of nodes and large number of meshes, then that case, when most of the, not most of the, almost all of the circuit elements are constant and only the load is going to change, then it is better to go for Thevenin theorem or Norton theorem. Okay, so let us proceed. So consider this circuit. In this circuit, this is a bigger circuit, whichever is represented in the dotted line of the blue color, that is going to be replaced by a voltage source with a resistor in series like this. Okay, whichever is represented in this dotted line, that can be represented like this with a voltage source and a resistor in series. Okay, this voltage source is considered as voltage across the load when it is open circuited. This is also called as open circuit voltage or Thevenin voltage, and this is called as orthothevenin. So this is the circuit which we are going to find. Then we can connect the load as we discussed before, and we can obtain the current flowing through that or the voltage across that RL. Okay, so what are the steps? How to find, we will see. Okay, so consider this circuit. In this circuit, we need to find VTH and RTH, or in another way, this is the circuit. Okay, we'll see that before. Okay, let me explain the procedure, then we will see about more different cases. Okay, so consider this circuit. Consider this circuit like circuit is like this. Okay, what you need to do is you need to find the VTH and RTH. That means VThevenin and RThevenin, and you are going to connect the load across these terminals A and B. Okay, so it is understood that this complete circuit is constant. Only these terminals A and B are going to vary. So in that case, what we need to do, this circuit should be the whichever is in the dotted line, that should be replaced with the voltage source with a resistor in series. That is what we have to do. So two things we need to find. One is VThevenin and another one is RThevenin. How to find VThevenin? So VThevenin is the voltage that is appearing across these terminals after you remove the load. So what I'm saying is you should remove the load first for the step one. You should remove the load first for the step one, and you should find the voltage across the terminals A and B. That is called as VThevenin. Okay, let me draw it separately so that you can understand. So this is the actual circuit. So this is the RL. Remaining circuit is constant. You have to convert that to Thevenin equivalent circuit. So for this, what we need to do, for the first step, you have to remove the load. So this is the source, and this is how it looks like. So what you need to do, you have to remove the load first, then you have to find the voltage across this terminal. Okay, so what I did, I removed this load resistance and I have found the voltage across this. This is called as open circuit voltage and VThevenin or VThevenin. Open circuit voltage across the load, or it is VThevenin. Okay, so now how I can find it? I know that there is some resistance here, then there is some resistance here, then there is some resistance here. Obviously, based on the current flowing through this, I can find the voltage across the individual elements, right? So that is the first step in Thevenin resistance. We have to find the open circuit voltage. That is for the first step. And second part is you have to find first VTH we have to find, and second we have to find the RTH. Okay, RTH means R Thevenin. It is almost similar to the equivalent resistance. Here, what do we need to do is, here we have to replace all the sources available in the circuit with its internal resistance. So we are having a voltage source, we should replace it with a short circuit. Then we are having this rest of this circuit like this. Then what do we need to do? Again, we have to find the R equivalent across this terminal. Okay, we have removed the load here. Then we have to find the R equivalent by replacing the sources with its internal resistance. That is called as an R equivalent. That is nothing but R Thevenin in Thevenin theorem. Okay, so this is the actual circuit. What do we need to do? The first step is to find the VTH or VThevenin or open circuit voltage. How we can find the VTH or open circuit voltage? You have to remove the load. So like I have done here. Then I need to find the voltage across the terminals VAB. Then that is called as open circuit voltage and VThevenin. And the second step is to find the R Thevenin. R Thevenin is nothing but finding the R equivalent in Thevenin's theorem. So here, so in R Thevenin, we need to replace the sources with its internal resistance, whether it is a voltage source or current source. You have to replace it with its internal resistance. For a voltage source, its internal resistance is zero resistance. So we have replaced it with a short circuit. If it is a current source, we have to replace it with the open circuit. Then we have to find the R equivalent. We have to find the R equivalent from the load terminal here. From here, if you want to find the R equivalent, you should start from the exact opposite end or extreme end. So here, this is the extreme end. From that, we have to start solving the circuit. Okay, so this is the procedure. Then after you find VTH and RTH, then you can easily find the current through the load resistance by using the formula I is equal to VTH divided by RTH plus RL. Okay, because this the complete circuit will be coming like this, then you can easily find the current through this RL by substituting in this formula. Okay, so this is about this Thevenin theorem. So there are three cases in Thevenin's theorem. Okay, so the first case is, in the circuit you are having only independent sources and other elements, that mean inductor, capacitor, resistor, like the passive elements. Okay, so this is the first case. In first case, let's say you are having only ideal independent voltage sources or current sources. Okay, you are having voltage sources or current sources. Okay, so when you are having such kind of circuit, you can directly find the VTH by removing the RL. Okay, you remove this RL like how I said before, then you find the voltage across the terminal A and B. Okay, so this is also called as VThevenin or VOC. For first step, for first method, your first case, there are three cases. In the first case, you are having only independent voltage sources in the circuit. Ideal independent voltage sources in the circuit. So in that case, what you can do is you can just remove this load resistance and you can find the voltage across that load resistance terminal A and B, and you can find the voltage. Okay. And the second case is when you are having, just a minute. Okay. When you are having both independent voltage source and dependent voltage source. Okay. So here you can see here I am having dependent voltage source, and here I'm independent voltage source, and here I am having dependent voltage source. So when you are having dependent and independent voltage source, for finding the voltage across the terminals A and B, you can just remove the RL, then you can find the voltage like how we have done before. Okay, no problem with that. Okay, but when you want to find RTH, when you want to find RTH, VTH, it is not a problem when you are having combined sources of both the dependent and independent. It is fine. You can easily find the RTH just by removing the load. Then you can find the current and you can find the voltage. When you want to find RTH, I told you, you should replace the sources with its internal resistance, right? So here, when you are having an independent source, you should replace with its internal resistance. I repeat, when you are having an independent source, you should replace it with its internal resistance. Whereas when you are having dependent source, you should not replace with its internal resistance when you are finding the equivalence, when you are finding the R Thevenin or R equivalent. Okay, when it is a dependent source, you should replace it with its internal resistance, and when it is a dependent source, you should not replace. Dependent source, again I repeat, you should not replace, and for independent source, you should replace with its internal resistance when you are finding the R Thevenin or R equivalent. Okay, so you can see here I have found VTH. This is one way of finding. So here I have one voltage source and here I have one current source. Okay, so then for finding VTH, you just remove it. For RTH, you can see here that you are having a dependent source. When you are having a dependent source, how we can find the RTH? Because for RTH, if it is directly resistor or inductor, we can directly find the equivalent value of the series parallel combination of resistor and inductor for finding RThevenin. But here you can see that there is some dependent sources available in the circuit when you are finding RTH. So in that case, how we can find the RTH? So just a minute. So here you can clearly see that we cannot find the RTH directly. Okay, we cannot directly find the RTH here because we do not have any source here. This is a dependent source. This dependent source is depending on some current flowing in circuit. Here, this is the current which is going to decide this magnitude of this voltage source. Now, how we can find? We cannot directly find it out the R Thevenin or R equivalent based on this circuit. So what we are doing, we are going to apply a test voltage source across the load terminal. This voltage can be 10 volt, whatever the value you are feeling that you can take, because this is a linear circuit. Since it is a linear circuit, you can consider this as 10, or you can consider it as a 1, or you can consider it as 2 or something. So depends on what voltage you are giving, accordingly your current will change. So once you take the ratio of voltage and current, this RTH will remain constant. Okay, if your voltage is higher, your current also will be higher. If your voltage is lesser, your current also will be lesser. So when you are taking ratio, your RTH is going to remain constant. Okay, so what I'm saying, for VTH it's not an issue. When it is an RTH, what happens is, when you are having a dependent source, it is not possible for us to find that R Thevenin directly. So for that, what we are going to do, we are going to apply a test voltage source. This is called as test voltage source. Then we are going to give it to the terminals A and B, or where the load is connected. Okay, now in the same time, you can see that the independent sources are replaced with its internal resistance. For a voltage source, I have short circuited. For a current source, I have open circuited. Then I have connected a test voltage source across the load terminals. So once I fix the test voltage source, I give some voltage value for this test voltage source. So because of this, there will be some current flowing through the circuit. So if some current is flowing through the circuit, then you can find the current coming out of the voltage source. Now, what do you need to do for finding the RThevenin? You need to find the ratio of the test voltage source divided by the current coming out of the voltage source. Okay, now whatever the current coming out, it will be RTH, because the equivalent resistance can be given by, suppose if your equivalent resistance is 5 ohm, then you will be getting some current accordingly, right? So this is some voltage source, let's say this is some voltage source 10 volt. So if it is 5 ohm, you are going to get, let's say, 2 ampere. Then if it is 10 ohm, you are going to get 1 ampere, right? If it is 2 ohm, sorry, we'll keep it as 5 volt, 5 ohm. So this is 10 volt. So 50 volt we'll consider. So 10 ohm, 10 ampere will pass through this circuit. So if you find the RThevenin, let's say that you do not know the resistance value. So the current taking by this is 2 ampere. So you can find the R value. R is equal to 10 divided by 2. Suppose if you do not know the resistance value, you are having a voltage source and you know that the current coming out of that voltage source. So you can obviously find the resistance which is available there. This is the equivalent resistance. The equivalent resistance can be given by voltage divided by current, that is given by 10 divided by 2, that is called the equivalent resistance. This will be 5 ohm. Similarly, for this circuit, you can see if you do not know the 5 ohm resistance value, then R equivalent can be given by 50 divided by 5, that is nothing but 50 divided by 10, that is nothing but 5 ohm. So even if you do not know the resistance value, based on the ratio of voltage and current, you can easily obtain the equivalent resistance. That is what they have done here. Okay, so we do not know the actual equivalent resistance of the circuit because we are having a dependent source. In order to find the equivalent resistance with the dependent source, what we are going to do, we are going to apply a voltage source, test voltage source. Then we are going to find the current coming out of the voltage source. Then you will find the ratio RTH is equal to V naught divided by I naught. So this will give the R equivalent. This is for the second case. Okay, so this is for the second case. Okay, so there is one more case. In these two cases, there are sources. There is one more case named, just a minute. There is one more case where the circuit have only passive elements and dependent sources. So if you have a circuit like this, then for this circuit, you can find only RTH. The VTH will be equal to 0 because there is no source available here. So the voltage across this terminal will also be 0. If this is the terminal, load terminal, and if you want to find the VTH, if you remove this and if you want to find the voltage across this terminal, then voltage across this terminal will be equal to 0 because there is no voltage source as it is, and so you cannot have a current flow in this circuit. If there is no current flow in this circuit, you cannot have any voltage across this terminal. Then the voltage across this terminal will be equal to 0, right? So this circuit is called as dead circuit because there is no source available in the circuit. Source in the sense there is no independent source available in the circuit. It can be a voltage source or current source, but here you can see that there is no independent source available in the circuit. That is called as a dead circuit. Here the VTH will be 0, whereas this RTH can again be obtained by fixing a test voltage source here. Okay, for this case also you can obtain RTH just by placing a test voltage source here. Okay, that is the third case. So once you find VTH and RTH, this will be your equivalent circuit. Then you can find the current flowing through this path. So IL can be given by VTH, that is a voltage source. Just they have written the KVL. So IL is equal to VTH divided by RTH plus RL. Okay, if they have asked you to find the voltage, directly you can apply voltage division rule, because these three elements are connected in series. So you can consider this in series. So voltage division rule you can apply to find the voltage across this load resistance. Okay, sometimes when you are finding RTH may be coming as negative value. It means that you are taking the current in opposite direction. Okay, but there is a separate meaning for this RTH as negative. So means there is one meaning where the resistance is negative. Always you know that the resistance is positive. The resistance is positive in the sense, suppose if you are taking a slope, let's say you are taking a plot between V and I characteristics, then if this, just a minute. So here the slope will be positive for throughout the curve. Okay, this is the slope will be positive throughout the curve, because here both V and I are positive, here both V and I are negative. The slope will be positive. There may be some occasion, or there may be some case, if you are having a voltage here and if you are having a current here, then if you are increasing the voltage, the current will be increasing gradually for some time. So after some time, what it can happen is, if you further increase the voltage, your current may dip. Okay, so what I'm saying is, you are increasing the voltage, that time your current is increasing across some element. Then when you are further increasing the voltage, there may be a point where when you increase the voltage, your current can get reduced. Okay, that time if you take the slope for this particular region, you will be getting negative resistance. Okay, so this is applicable for one type of diode, Schottky diode. So that is not needed to us, but the meaning of this RTH is, when you are increasing the voltage further, the current is decreasing. So that if you take the slope, it will be a negative. So if the slope is negative, it means that the resistance is going to be negative. That is what it means. Okay, so let us proceed with a simple problem. Consider this circuit. In this circuit, we have to find the current through the load resistance, where the load resistance is 6 ohm, 16 ohm and 36 ohm. So you have to apply Thevenin theorem. So for finding Thevenin theorem, what do we need to do? We need to find two things. One is VTH and the second one is this RTH. Okay, so the very first part is to find the voltage across this terminal. So this is the first part. In step one, we have to find VTH. So I have open circuited the load terminals. So I have removed the RL and I want to find the VTH across this. Now here there is a voltage source with a resistor in series. Now what I can do, I can do source transformation technique in order to reduce this circuit. So what I have done source transformation. Voltage source with a resistor in series has been redrawn as current source with a resistor in parallel. So now what should be the current magnitude? That is given by V divided by R. This is the V and this is the R. So V divided by R, this is nothing but 8 ampere. Then you are having 4 ohm. So that is 4 ohm here. Okay, so what we have done, we have found the equivalent resistance of this. Now you are having one current source here and another current source here. Both the current source directions are same, so you can consider it as an equivalent resistance, equivalent current source with the current magnitude as 8 plus 2, that is 10 ampere. Then you are having two resistor here. Those two resistors are in parallel. One is 12 ohm and another one is 4 ohm. So for resistors in parallel, you can consider like the equivalent resistance for 12 into 14 divided by 12 plus 12 into 4 divided by 12 plus 4, that is given by equivalent resistance of 3. So that is written here. Okay, so now what you can do is, you can directly find the voltage across these terminals. Let us discuss. See, I have converted this to this again, but you can directly find the voltage across this terminal, because this is an open circuit, because the current will not flow through this path. So this is an open circuit. So now whatever the current is there, that should be passes through this. So if all the current is passing through this, what is the voltage across this? This is 10 into 3 because that is the current and it is the resistance. So it is 30 volt. What is the voltage drop across this resistor? The voltage drop across this resistor is 0 because there is no current flow. If there is no current flow through this resistor, the voltage across that resistor is 0. So whatever the voltage is available across this resistor, that will be available across this load terminal. So here the VTH is 30 volt, or again you can convert this to you can convert in source transformation. If you convert, you will be getting a voltage source with a resistor in series. So for that, you are having a current source here and you are having a resistor here. So voltage magnitude can be given by 10 into 3, and the resistance value is just as it is. You can write. Now the current is not flowing through this path because it is open circuited. So whatever the voltage across this is available in the source, that will be appearing across this terminals A and B. Okay, so here we have found the VTH. Then we need to find the RTH. For RTH, what should we do? We have to replace the independent sources with its equivalent resistance. Whereas if you are having dependent sources, you should keep it as it is. So here you are having only independent sources. So now you replace the voltage source with short circuit and the current source with open circuit. You can see here where this is where you had voltage source and here this is where you had current source. Now you are having the rest of the circuit. This is the actual circuit we have taken. This is the actual circuit. Then in that we have replaced with the voltage source and current source with its internal resistance. Then we have removed the load resistance, and that is open circuited. Then we have to find the R Thevenin from this point. Means you have to see the equivalent resistance from this point. So you have to start solving the circuit from the extreme end. Here this is the extreme end. So you have to start from left to right because your R Thevenin you have to find it from right. So you have to start from the extreme end. So that should be started from the left to right. Okay, so it is like if you are standing here, if you are standing here, what is the equivalent distance you are going to see? That is what you are going to do. So you have to start from the extreme end. Okay, so if you consider like that, if you consider like that, so now you can find the equivalent distance. You have to start from here. If you start from here, you are having one 4 ohm resistor and 12 ohm resistor, both are connected in parallel. So if you find the equivalent, it is 4 into 12 divided by 4 plus 12, that is coming as 3 ohm. So if you find the equivalent value, the circuit will reduce like this. You are having 3 ohm resistor that will be connected in series with the 1 ohm resistor. Then this will be like both are in series. So if you see that both are in series, you can just add it. You may be getting R Thevenin is equal to 4 ohm. Okay, so now what we have found, we found VTH and we have found RTH. Now what do we need to find as per the question? We need to find the current through the loads, that is 6 ohm, 16 ohm and 36 ohm. Now this is our Thevenin equivalent. This is our Thevenin equivalent circuit. So this is our load resistance. This is our Thevenin equivalent where you had only RTH and VTH. Now the current through the individual load can be find it out using this formula. IL is equal to VTH divided by RTH plus RL. So now I have substituted this VTH and RTH. Only for this RL, I am going to replace it with its various resistance. First one is 6 ohm, second one is 16 ohm, and third one is 36 ohm. So you can see here RL is equal to 6 ohm, RL is equal to 16 ohm, RL is equal to 36 ohm. So here you can see IL is equal to 30 divided by 4 plus 6. Here IL is equal to 30 divided by 4 plus 16. So this 30 is VTH, this 4 is RTH, this is the load resistance. That alone is going to change. So directly I can find the current without resolving the circuit again and again. Okay, I have used a simple I used a procedure to solve the circuit, and I found the equivalent Thevenin resistance and Thevenin voltage. Once I found the Thevenin resistance and Thevenin voltage, I can directly find the current using a simple formula. Okay, irrespective of whatever the voltage whatever the resistor I connect here, I can directly find the value now. Okay, so even if it is 1000 ohm, even if it is 20,000 ohm, I can directly find the current flowing through this RL without solving the circuit repeatedly. Okay, this is the major advantage of Thevenin's theorem. Okay, is this clear? Did you understand what is VTH and what is RTH? If you did not understand, you ask now. We will solve one more problem for the Thevenin's theorem.
Yes, sir, clear.
Okay, if anyone is having any doubt, you people can ask, because this is going to be the base for other two theorems. If you understand this, other two theorems also will be useful to you. Okay, fine. So let us see one more problem, so that even if you have some doubt, you people can understand. Okay, I think I don't have another problem, but this is the procedure. Okay, I may be having later. I'm not sure. Okay, fine. I'm not having. Uh, just a minute. Yeah. So here I'm having one circuit. In this, we have to find Thevenin equivalent for this particular circuit. Okay. So here you can see that uh, this is the load terminal, because they have mentioned this as a load terminal. Find current through 2 ohm resistor if connected between the terminals A and B using Thevenin. Okay. Norton theorem is second one. So let's say that I am going to use Thevenin theorem. So what do we need to do? We need to first find the voltage across these terminals A and B. Okay, so here what I am doing here, there is a voltage source with a resistor in series. So I am converting that to a current source with a resistor in parallel. So this current source magnitude can be given by voltage divided by this resistance, that is 5 ampere. Then this 3 ohm resistor will be coming as it is. Then you can see this 5 ohm resistor and this 4 ohm resistor are in parallel. So you can just you can add it and give it as a equivalent current magnitude, that is given by 9 ampere source. Okay, then you are having 3 ohm here. This is second part. Now this is another 3 ohm, which is like this. So now again I'm converting this to, yeah, voltage source with a resistor in parallel, sorry, resistor in series, that I have done here. So once I do it, I will be having two resistors, that is 3 ohm, and this 3 ohm will be in series with a voltage source. That voltage source magnitude is 27 volt. Okay, so now I can find the current through this path. 27 divided by 12, that will be the current flowing through this path. So that is coming as, okay, 27 divided by 12, you can keep it like this. Now, what will be the current flowing through this resistor, that is 27 by 12. So the voltage across this resistor can be given by I into R. I is 27 by 2 and your R is 6. So this will be the voltage across this resistor. That will be the voltage across the terminals A and B. So this voltage will be nothing but 13.5 volt. Okay, so you have to find the R Thevenin. So for that, what you need to do, you have to short circuit the voltage sources and open circuit the current sources. So I have done it, and I have to find the R Thevenin from this side. So I have short circuited it. Then I have two resistances in parallel. Then the equivalent resistance will be 6 into 6 divided by 6 plus 6. That is coming as 3 ohm. Okay. So now if I draw the Thevenin equivalent for this, I will be getting a circuit like this. Then I can just substitute or place the load resistance here, like how I have given here. 2 ohm resistor is going to be connected across the terminals A and B. So here I have connected 2 ohm resistor. So this is the RL part, and this is RTH. This is VTH. Then from this I can find the current through this path. Okay, so this is how I have to go for Thevenin theorem. So the second theorem is Norton theorem. Okay, so the Thevenin theorem Norton theorem is almost same. There is no much difference. Only different thing is the final circuit, whichever you found for Thevenin, that can be redrawn as like this if you are using a source transformation. Okay, so in Thevenin theorem, we found open circuit voltage across the load. In Thevenin theorem, we have found the open circuit voltage across the load, whereas in Norton theorem, we are going to find the short circuit current through the load terminals. Okay, for Thevenin theorem, we open circuited the load terminals and we found the open circuit voltage across the load. Open circuit across the load and we found the voltage across it. Now what we are going to do, we are going to short circuit the load terminals and we are going to find the current through the short circuited terminal. So the current which is passing through that short circuited terminal, it's called as the Norton current. Okay, the current which is passing through that short circuited terminal, that is called as Norton current. Again, there is one resistance, that is Rn. Rn is nothing but the Norton resistance. Norton resistance is same as Thevenin resistance. The procedure to find the Norton resistance is same as Thevenin resistance. No change in that. Only changes this current only. Okay. So again, if you find Thevenin theorem, obviously you can directly convert that to Norton circuit by using source transformation. But in this subject, you have to find the Norton theorem based on its own procedure. Okay. So consider that here what we are going to do, consider that this is a source, this is the circuit. In this circuit we need to find the current through this RL or voltage across this RL. We need to find it. So the first step here in this circuit is to find the Norton current. So how to find the Norton current? We have to short circuit the load terminals. This is the actual circuit. So you can see this circuit, second circuit. Here you can see this AB is the load terminal. It is mentioned here. This is RL. RL means the load. So here I am going to short circuit it. Once I short circuit it, I have to find the current flowing through this path. Okay. So how I can find? You can use mesh analysis or nodal analysis or KVL, KCL, whatever you are comfortable. You can use that thing in order to find the current through this path. Obviously, actually, you can see here that this resistor will not play any role. This resistor will not play any role because this is a short circuited terminal. If it is a short circuited terminal, complete current will be passing through that path only, because this short circuited terminal will not offer any resistance. Okay, suppose if you are having n number of elements in parallel, then if you are having one element is short circuited, okay, one element is short circuited like this, then the entire current will be passing through this short circuited terminal only. That we discussed when we are talking about parallel circuits. So when you are having a parallel circuits, if you are having n number of parallel elements, if one of the terminals is short circuited in the parallel element, then the entire current will be passing through that element. Okay, so for this circuit, you can see the complete current will be passing through this short circuited terminal only. So that will be the Norton current for this particular circuit. Okay, so again, that is the first step. The second step is to find the equivalent resistance. How to find the equivalent resistance? The equivalent resistance is same as finding in the Thevenin resistance. So just the name is different, but other than that, the procedure is same. So we have found the short circuited current. How we have found the short circuited current? The short circuited current should be obtained across the terminals A and B by short circuiting the load terminals. This is the load terminals. We have short circuited it and we have obtained the current flowing through that path. Okay, then we are having Norton. This is the final Norton equivalent circuit, whichever we need. The current we obtained from the short circuit, that is coming as IN. Then RN is the Norton equivalent resistance value. Okay, so this is the Norton theorem. Let us see a problem based on this. So consider this circuit. In this circuit, the load terminals are A and B. The load terminals are A and B. What do we need to find? We need to find the Norton equivalent circuit. Okay, so this is the load terminal. Here they have mentioned that find Norton equivalent circuit across the terminals A and B. So for Norton equivalent circuit, what do you need to find? You need to find a Norton current. That is the first step. How I can find the Norton current? I have to short circuit the load terminals. Here the load terminals is A and B, and they itself have mentioned across the terminals A and B you have to find. So you short circuit the terminals A and B. Then what do you need to find? You need to find the current through this. How I can find the current through this? Again, I can apply mesh analysis or nodal analysis in order to find the current, or you can do the circuit reduction also in order to find the current. Okay, so now in this circuit you can see I have a voltage source with a resistor in series. So I'm converting that to a current source with a resistor in parallel. If I convert this, the current source magnitude will be 3 ampere, and this 4 ohm will be appearing across this. This is that source transformation. Now you are having 2 ampere source and 3 ampere source. Now you are having the circuit like this. So because these two current sources can be added, 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. Then the remaining circuit will be like this. Okay, so now this, through this 5 ohm resistor, no current will flow because the parallel element is short circuited, so no current will flow. So the rest of the circuit is this only, and the current source. Then obviously you can apply current division formula here. Okay, so already as I said, there will not be any current flow through this 5 ohm resistor. So the current will be divided among 4 ohm, this 8 ohm resistor. So totally 5 ampere current is flowing in this. This is 5 ampere that is going to flow. So for finding current division, 5 into opposite resistance. Actually, whatever the current flowing through this terminal AB, that is same as the current flowing through this 8 ohm resistor. So opposite resistor is 4 ohm, and the sum of the resistance is 8 plus 4, that will be giving the Norton current, that is nothing but 1.667 ampere. What I have done, this resistor is not going to carry any current, so I am going to open circuit it. Okay, you can consider like there is no resistor here. So in that case, the circuit will be this much only. Okay, the circuit will be like this. Now the current will be divided among this 4 ohm resistor and this 8 ohm resistor. I have applied a current division formula in order to obtain the current through this terminal A and B. The current through the terminal A and B is 1.667 ampere. Okay, again I have to find the R Thevenin or R Norton. It is same as R Norton. So here we have to find the equivalent resistance across the terminal A and B. So I have one current source and one voltage source. The current source I have short circuit open. The current source I have open circuited it, and voltage source I have short circuited it. Then I have to find the equivalent resistance. I have these resistance 8 ohm, 4 ohm, and 5 ohm. This 8 ohm resistor and this 4 ohm resistor both are in series, because whatever the current enter this, that will be passing through 4 ohm only. There cannot be any current through the open circuit. So whatever the current enters in the 8 ohm, that should be passing through the 4 ohm resistor. So the equivalent resistance is 12 ohm for those series combination. So now that 12 ohm will be in parallel with this 5 ohm resistance. So you find the equivalent resistance based on the parallel combination. You will be getting 3.53 ohm. Okay, so the Norton equivalent will be coming as 1.67 ampere, and Norton resistance is coming as 3.53 ohm. So this is the Norton equivalent for the circuit given. Okay, so here now, if they ask you to find the current through this resistor, or they can ask you to find the voltage across this resistor, that is a load resistor, it's you can find it out using simple formula like how we have used for the Thevenin theorem. Okay, so this is all about Thevenin theorem and Norton theorem. In this unit, we are left with only one more theorem, that is maximum power transfer theorem. Okay, if you have any doubt in this, you people ask, else we can end this meeting. Thank you for joining. If you have, yeah.
So can you please clear these notes?
Why you people are focusing only on notes? Anyway, I'm taking the lecture. No, you can note it down from the recorded videos. Why you are always asking notes? I don't understand.
So yes, watching again the recording is also possible, but if we have the notes, then we can easily do the things.
If you write it, you will understand very easily. No, instead of just having the notes. Okay, fine. I will share it.